And good morning and welcome into the Wealth Guardians radio show. I'm your host, Doug Ray, and with me is Brice Payne, our great producer.
Yeah.
And we're just having a ball here on this beautiful spring weekend.
Trying to get some last moment production issues worked out here, but testing 1, 2, 3. I hope everyone can hear me nice and clearly. Doug, it is a beautiful spring morning, and I want to ask everybody out there listening, why are you inside listening to the radio right now?
I'm hoping they're outside doing something.
They should be.
Yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
not, folks, you need to keep us on the radio, but at least take the radio outside and do something out there. Doug, how are you doing?
Doing great. Wish I could play some golf, but I hadn't been able to do that. And I know you haven't either because of your carpal tunnel surgery.
Yeah, I still working my way. It's just about 2 months now, and I tried doing some push-ups for the first time the other last week, and it didn't work out too well. It feels like when you put your hand on the ground and put any kind of pressure on it, it feels like you're putting it on a bunch of ball bearings, and it's just a bunch of uncomfortable pricklies all over the palm of the hand, and so it's another excuse not to do any push-ups for a while.
That does not sound like fun at all.
It's not bad. It's recovering, but I'll be out there riding and throwing discs soon. You'll be out there playing golf soon, and
plan on it.
And everybody will be doing good.
Yep. Before we get going, like always, we want to reach out and say a big thanks and salute to all of our service members, our veterans, our first responders, especially our men and women in blue. Thank you so much. Your efforts are just Herculean, and we do appreciate them.
Absolutely. And the families out there as well, we know you make sacrifices, and you should not be forgotten either. Thank you for allowing your loved ones to serve. Doug, we've got a great radio show here today. Everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah, taxes.
Hey, I'm so excited.
Well, it's coming quick. It's coming quick, and we're going to be doing a taxes and retirement workshop here soon. I'm going to tell you about that. Before I get there, I got a real live case study to go over, and it actually happened to me.
And this is recent?
Recent. Back in January, I'm sitting there on a Saturday, I believe it was, and the mail comes, and I get this nice little beautiful cream-colored card from the South Carolina Department of Revenue. Now, some backstory here for you folks that don't know. I actually my residence is in South Carolina. Yep.
Barely.
500 yards across the state line. The state line cuts right through our neighborhood. And we actually have houses in the neighborhood where the state line goes through.
Through the house.
I know one person whose half of their master bedroom is in South Carolina and the other half is in North Carolina.
Okay.
Well, anyway, since I live in South Carolina, and I jokingly say the only thing I do in South Carolina is sleep and vote there because my 2 offices are in North Carolina, I am required to file a North Carolina return and a South Carolina return. So I open up this beautiful cream. It looks like a wedding invitation, actually.
Okay.
I'm opening up. I pull it out. I'm reading it, and it says, 2015 failure to file and pay.
Doug, I'm so disappointed in you.
You owe, in penalties and fees and everything else, over $12,000 to the state of South Carolina.
So they said you didn't even file.
I said I didn't even file, which I knew better than that. So I went back and I looked, and sure enough, I had filed. Not only had I filed, I got a refund, $313
from the state.
From the state.
Okay.
And I never get refunds.
So not only did you file, but they gave you money back. And okay.
And the only way you can get money back is if you file, right?
Sure. Yeah, you're not going to get money back otherwise.
Okay. So immediately I sent this. I scanned it in a PDF and sent it off to my CPA. And Kevin, I love Kevin because Kevin gets white hot when his work is challenged by the IRS or any state DOR. And he just starts laying out this blue stream of words saying, those fools, they lost it and all, this, that, and the other. Long story short, he sends his side of the story in a filing, and I end up having to resend the tax returns that we sent back in 2015. And then a month goes by, I hear nothing. And then I get another letter from the state of South Carolina that says, your request for a refund is denied because it's too late.
So that was their way of trying to save face, is trying to ignore what they sent you in the first place.
I guess. I swear. Unbelievable. But you know what? I love my CPA.
The only thing that would have made that story better is if they honored your refund request and actually gave
me another refund.
Yeah, that would have been top notch.
I'd have sent it back. I'd just, that's just going to be trouble down the road. All right, so folks, we are quickly coming up on April 15th, and
again, I just paid taxes last year.
Well, if you're like me, you always file an extension that gives you to October 15th. So we're going to do, and we've been doing, a series of taxes and retirement workshops, but our next and last one before April 15th is coming up soon. Now, in these workshops, we talk about what the Secure Act did to change the tax code last year, and it's still valid this year. But we're also going to talk about what the Biden administration plans to do with taxes. Now, they just passed this recent stimulus.
Yeah.
Supposedly, at the end of March, 1st of April, the administration is going to come out with their new tax plan. And there's going to be plenty of hikes in taxes to pay for all this stimulus. So our taxes and retirement workshop is Thursday, March the 25th at 6:30.
Thursday.
Tuesday, March 30th
at
6:30. Both in the Broyhill Office and Convention in Clemens. Now, the governor has increased capacity, so we can have more of you now, which is a good thing.
That's right.
So, again, Thursday, March 25th, Tuesday, March 30th, both at 6:30. To register, and you got to register, you call us at 336-391-3409. No, we're not in the office today, but leave your name and phone number, and Monday morning, either Lynn or Joy will call you back and get you registered. Now, Brice, in lieu of that, how else can they register?
Well, they can also go to our website, www.thewealthguardians.com. In the upper right, there is an events tab. They scroll over that. There's a drop-down menu. You click on live events, and right there, you can pick either date that works for you. You can also see our future seminars that we'll be giving on different topics as well. And they can just click here to register and enter their information, and they're registered. You do have to register to come. Doug, remind them how much it costs to go to one of our seminars?
Zip, zero, nada.
All right, so it's not like a tax. You can go there without any costs or obligations or fees. They are free, but you do have to register. That's the key thing there, because there is so much limited space now. So either give us a call, 336-391-3409, or our website, thewealthguardians.com. This would be, Doug, this event here would be specifically designed, as many of our events are, for those who are approaching retirement. Specifically, this seminar is about the Secure Act. Well, the Secure Act focused a lot of its changes for people who are at retirement age, more so than people who are in their 30s or 40s. So, folks, if you are close to retirement, and maybe you just retired or you're planning on retiring in the next couple of years, and you're thinking to yourself, I really don't want to pay more taxes than I'm obligated to in retirement, then this would make sense for you to want to attend this and just kind of get a first-hand view of what these changes will bring to your retirement planning and tax planning. Now, I say retirement planning. That is what we do as a whole. We are financial specialists, and we specialize in retirement planning. Tax mitigation or tax mitigation strategies plays a key role in your overall retirement plan. So if you think you have a retirement plan, you've sat down with an advisor and you've worked things out, but you've never discussed taxes or how to structure your accounts, be they in IRAs or Roths, or talking about IRA to Roth conversions, or how to do your charitable giving, if you've never had that conversation with an advisor, then I hate to break it to you, but you really don't have a retirement plan. You might have some aspects of it covered, but you don't have a holistic retirement plan, which is what we do here at the Wealth Guardians. We cover a number of different topics that help you make sure that your money is lasting as long as possible in retirement, and whatever your legacy goals might be. So we're going to cover Social Security when you sit down with us. We're going to cover taxes. We're going to cover risk planning, risk mitigation strategies, how that coincides with your risk tolerance. We're going to talk about the fees that you're paying on your accounts, or what fees you shouldn't be paying on your accounts. We're going to be doing a mutual fund comparison analysis for you. We have some great tools and software that we use on all of this. And then we put together some recommendations and show you how you might be able to better plan for retirement. So if you haven't had that in-depth conversation with a financial advisor or financial planner at this stage of the game, and you are in your mid to late 50s and you're looking ahead now, you see that retirement light is coming down the tunnel, well, then you need to sit down with us. And again, our number is 336-391-3409. Come to the seminar, but if you can't make the seminar, by all means, that doesn't stop you from setting an appointment and coming down and sitting with us, or we can sit with you virtually as well in this day and age, and help you figure out how to best plan for your retirement. Doug, anything to add to that before we get to the trivia question?
I think you summed it up pretty good. I'm always anxious for these trivia questions because you never let me know what you're going to ask.
Okay.
And I usually get stumped.
Well, here we go. Since we're talking about taxes, I decided to revolve this question around taxes. And as you know, folks, I ask you a trivia question here. We see if we can stump Doug. You wait around through the break, and when we come back, we give you the answer to the trivia question. So here's this week's trivia stump Doug question. Doug, what amendment reads as follows? The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived without appointment among the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. That's one of our amendments. Which amendment is that? Folks, we will get you the answer on the other side of this break. Stick around. And welcome back on this beautiful spring morning to the Wealth Guardians radio show. I'm Brice Payne in the producer's chair, and in the main chair here is Doug Ray. He stuck through the break as well because he wants to know the answer to this trivia question, which we'll get to in just a second. But folks, I got a question for you. I think you're out there because I hear you. And if you're listening and you're 5 to 7 years from retirement, and you want to confirm that you're making the best decision for your retirement that you can possibly be making, you think you know, but you're not 100% sure and you want to be 100% sure, well, I've got good news for you. We offer a no-cost, no-obligation second review so you can learn how to retire the job and keep the paycheck. But the ball is in your court. You've got to pick up the phone and dial 336-391-3409. That's 336-391-3409. You can also visit us at www.thewealthguardians.com. Speaking of that, I am now doing our website highlight of the week at the start of the second set here. So speaking of thewealthguardians.com, the part of the website that I want to bring to your attention this week is our events tab. So you go to our website, and in the upper right, there is a tab called the events tab. You scroll over that, and there's two sections there. Upcoming webinars and upcoming live events. Let's say you click on the live events. You're done with the seminars or the webinars. You're done with the Zoom meetings and whatnot, and you actually want to do some interactions with real people again. Well, we are doing live events again. And there you can see a list of all of our upcoming events, whether it's this month, next month, a few months down the road. And when you go on that, there's various topics that we talk about. We talk about Social Security during some of our seminars. Some of our seminars, we talk about the state of the market. Some of our seminars, we talk about taxes. And that's what we've got coming up this month right now. We have two upcoming events around the Secure Act and how that changed the retirement landscape. So if you're close to retirement, this should be of news to you. It's Thursday, March 25th. And another one at Tuesday, March 30th. You can come to one or the other. They're both at 6:30 p.m. and they're in the Broyhill building in Clemens. All you have to do is click on that button that says register, or you can give us a call at 336-391-3409. And again, we've got more topics coming up. We've got some Social Securities, I believe, coming up in April as well. So take your pick or come to all of them for if they're all meeting your interest. So Doug, we asked you a trivia question at the beginning here, and the trivia question was this. What amendment reads as follows? The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived without appointment among the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. Now, I don't know what those last couple of words mean, but basically it says, hey, the government is allowed to tax you on your income.
It means they can steal you blind.
Okay. That's the layman's way of saying it. Probably not the most popular amendments ever passed, but what amendment was that?
You know, I have so much worthless trivia circulating around in my brain, and I'm pulling one out right now. This is a super big guess, but I think I remember hearing it was the 18th Amendment.
Oh, you're close.
Okay.
You're close. The 18th Amendment was... if I am not mistaken, that was where you can't drink anymore. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Prohibition?
Prohibition. That's everyone's least favorite one, probably.
Yeah, most likely.
So, no, it was actually the 16th Amendment.
16th, okay.
February 3rd, 1913.
1913, I knew that.
Republican William Howard Taft signed that into law. But I'm going to give you a couple little other trivia questions about, or not, just a little fun facts here about taxes. Do you know under what president did U.S. citizens first pay an income tax? So this was before 1913. That's when it became constitutionally allowed. But we tried to tax people's income prior to that as well.
Was it right after the Civil War? Was it Johnson?
Oh, well, it was Lincoln. But it was after the Civil War. It was to pay for the Civil War. So it was the Revenue Act of 1861. There was a 3% income tax on everyone who made more than $800 a year, which is the equivalent of $18,000 a year today, to pay for the Civil War. So that was Lincoln who signed that in. It was repealed 11 years later. And it was not until that 16th Amendment that, when that was ratified in 1913, that we permanently established a legal and constitutional income tax.
The same year we got the creature from Jekyll Island. You know what that is?
I do not. That sounds interesting.
The Federal Reserve.
Ah, okay. Very good. Well, folks, again, taxes are our topic of the week, but now we're going to go into listener questions of the week, and we'll see if anybody here asked about taxes. So we do this about once a month when we get enough questions coming in, and our first question this month is from Aaron in North Wilkesboro, Doug, and he says, Doug and Brice, I've heard a guy advertising that he specializes in retirement planning for people who have at least $1 million saved. Now, I fall into that category, but I'm not sure if he actually has a specialty or if he just wants people with more money. Is that really a specialty that exists?
Well, to say you'll take them on if they got $1 million or more, that's not a specialty, but retirement planning definitely is a specialty, and we've told you that's our specialty. It's been for years. Can you find out if that person has training above and beyond what they need just for a license? Absolutely. Ask them what their credentials are. You know those letters you see after financial advisors' names? Those mean something.
Doug, you've got a few?
I got a few. You got a few? You know, you have to go to an accredited college to get most of them, and the one that will tell you right off the bat if they specialize in retirement planning is the RICP designation. That's called the Retirement Income Certified Professional. You get that from the American College outside of Philadelphia in Bryn Mawr. And there are several other credentials that go along with that. The Chartered Financial Consultant, the Chartered Life Underwriter, Certified Financial Planner, CFP, and there's a whole list of others you can get. But that's one way to start to find out if that person is certified. And then there's even more designations after that. Like Brice and I are both certified in long-term care and Social Security.
We are.
That's all a part of retirement planning. So that's how you find out.
Yeah, I would think, Aaron, since you are approaching retirement, that is what you would want your advisor's specialty to be in. There's a lot more things happening as far as income and taxes and whatnot that go on around retirement age than there were when you were in your 30s or 40s. So a typical advisor might be able to help out a typical person, but Doug is a pilot here, or used to be a pilot, and it's like landing a plane. That's really when your skills as a pilot come into the cockpit and are necessary. You can fly over the Atlantic probably pretty easily, but when you're landing down at Heathrow, that's when you really want a skilled pilot, and that's what retirement planning is. So, Aaron, if you would like somebody who at least tells you up front that they are a licensed retirement specialist, then you could give us a call at 336-391-3409. We'd be happy to sit down with you, whether you have $1 million or $200,000. All right, Doug, our next question comes from Bo in Yadkinville. Bo says, I need about $5,000 to live on each month in retirement, and my Social Security and pension will total about $5,300. Okay, so he's got about a $300. I need $5,000, so $5,300. So he's got a little bit of extra there. Mm-hmm. Does this mean I'll be able to leave my entire 401k behind to my son?
Absolutely, unequivocally, no.
Why not?
Because two reasons. Number one, you've got the impact of inflation over time.
There you go.
Which means your $300 surplus is in a few years going to end up not being a surplus anymore, which means you're going to have to start rating your 401k. Then, also, when you turn 72, Uncle Sam, taxes again,
yep,
wants taxes, is going to make you take money out of your 401k or your IRA. And that's not something you can avoid.
Well, and that $5,300 that he's getting from Social Security is before tax.
That's right.
If that's the amount that he's getting from Social Security, then his Social Security is being taxed. Additionally, Bo, when we sit down and do retirement planning for you, yeah, there is a cost of living adjustment that you will be getting on your Social Security, but that is not going to match inflation in all likelihood. So that deficit there between $5,000 that you need and the $5,300 pre-tax that you're getting, that deficit is going to grow and enlarge over time. And you will have to dip into your retirement savings at some point. Another factor that comes into it is what kind of growth can you expect or income can you expect off of your investments? That's where risk mitigation strategies come into play, and we can help you out with that. But you would have to give us a call at 336-391-3409 for us to run you a whole retirement plan. Yes, you will in all likelihood have a pretty good chunk of your savings left, but will you have it all? That's what we've got to help you figure out, and how much your son will be able to get. But it's a good question, Bo, and that is really what we hone in on for all of our clients when we sit down with them.
It is, and I think this is a perfect spot here to remind our listeners that coming up very soon, we are doing a taxes and retirement workshop.
Very soon.
Very soon. Thursday, March 25th, Tuesday, March 30th, both at 6:30. Both will be held at the Clemens, the Broyhill Office and Convention Center in Clemens. We have increased capacity thanks to Governor Cooper, but this will be the last taxes and retirement workshop we'll do before the April 15th deadline. Of course, you can always file an extension like I do and wait till October 15th. But anyway, come to our workshop. Tuesday, March 25th, Thursday, March 30th. Brice, tell them how they can register.
They can register by calling that number, 336-391-3409. They can also register by going to our website, thewealthguardians.com, and clicking on the events tab and scrolling down to the date that best meets their calendar schedule, and they can click on register there as well. Doug, this is really focused around people who are at retirement age, but do you know what the difference is between the IRS and our seminars?
What's that?
We don't charge for our seminars. So there's no tax levied on you for attending one of our seminars. They are free, but you do have to register. That is key. So I think we've got room for one more here, Doug.
All right.
Brice in Germantown. I mispronounced that the other week and said Germantown because that's how it looks on paper. I have a stockbroker that I've worked with for 30 years, long before I even moved here. I like him very much, and I think he does a great job, but I really have no way of knowing how can I grade his performance. And Doug, before I hand that over to you, I will say, Brice, it is not uncommon for somebody to mistake a bull market for a good advisor, a good broker.
Exactly. You know, that's a tough question. You know, you can always use the S&P 500 as a benchmark, but then again, maybe your risk tolerance isn't the S&P 500. That's pretty high on the risk scale.
It's a 75 on the risk scale, 1 to 100.
So Brice, if your advisor, your stockbroker, you call him, is doing the proper thing with you in terms of managing your portfolio based on your risk tolerance, you know, in a world where the S&P gets 12% and you only get 5%, maybe he's doing a good job. You just cannot use the market as a whole to sit there and value how your advisor's doing for you.
And we can give you a second opinion on that, Brice. You could bring in your portfolio to us. We'll run it through about 9 different analyses and help you figure out whether or not the portfolio that you're in is actually meeting up with your risk tolerance. That's key. Or if there are more sensible investments for you to be in where you are still hitting the upside swing of the market, but not the full downside brunt. But in order to do that, you'd have to give us a call, 336-391-3409. That number one more time, 336-391-3409. Doug, we've run out of time here, but that just means you and I get to go outside and play now.
Amen.
So everybody else, you get out there, get some exercise as well. And we look forward to seeing you here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care.